YouTube has continued to attack alternative media by demonetizing most of our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit our Amazon store or our Patreon page. Links below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater and Game of Thrones. 2019. Still not over it yet. My dad had a nice chuckle when we talked about it because he was telling me for like months, oh, you know, they're not gonna release Game of Thrones until 2019. I'm like, you shut your face, old man. You shut your lying. Right? And then of course I hit him up and I'm all like, you were right. They are 2019, last 6 episodes. And he's like, I told you, that's what they were saying. I'm like, yeah, but come on. We all know we wanted it to come out 2018, finish it up 2018. But no, of course not. They want to make us wait until 2019. But now we know why. We know why. And that does make it a little bit easier, in my opinion. It still kind of sucks because it's Game of Thrones. Like, there's no Game of Thrones this year. What am I going to watch in the meantime? The Walking Dead? I don't know. There's actually a lot of other TV to watch coming out this year. We got Jessica Jones. We got Luke Cage. I'm pretty sure Iron Fist. Daredevil season 3 that's shooting right now. I mean, like, yeah, we're going to get a lot of stuff on Netflix. So Game of Thrones can wait. And there's also other good shows like Altered Carbon. I think Dark season 2. I mean, we're fine. Ultimately, we're fine. But the finale of Game of Thrones, one that I'm really anxious to see get to that point, because it's been, by the time we get to season 8, it will have been 8 years since the show premiered, which probably is one of the factors leading into this. Ultimately not the deciding factor, but I do believe it played into it. But anyway, going back to the whole point of the story. So Entertainment Weekly sat down with Casey Bloys, who is the network's top programming boss, and they were like, all right, come on, man. Fill me in, Casey. Fill me in. What's going on? What's going down? What's going on with Game of Thrones? What's going on, man? What's going on with Westeros? And this is what Casey had to say. Here's what I'll tell you. They'll take the time they need to do the show at its highest level of quality. As the show has gone on, it's gotten bigger. Big battle scenes, big special effects. These things take time. Here's the one thing I can assure you. Dan and Dave were not sitting around on a beach waiting to go back to work. They're perfectionists, and this is the soonest it can come back at a level of quality that they are comfortable with. Now, many people out there could sit there and look at that and go like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. I get that. They want to be perfectionists about this whole thing. They want to make sure that it's all good. They want to make sure that everything's grand for the finale, and they want to go out on top, which totally makes sense. Here's the thing, though. This is my theory. My theory is that they looked at the response season 7 got, and albeit I thought season 7 was a grand season, however, it did come across a wee bit like Game of Thrones fan fiction. It did. There were many times, especially like how many people just fast traveled across the map, how many events just kind of seemed to take place. There's what felt to be a bit much of like Deus Ex Machina and a few of those things that just kind of made it feel like there was, you know, like they were on a Tumblr blog for Game of Thrones, and that's where they took their bullet points for season 7 from. And it's not to say that I'm like mad at the show or whatever. There is valid criticism in regards to how that was handled. And so I'm okay with people being upset at that. And I'm wondering if they've looked at the fact that they kind of rushed through a lot. With those 8 episodes or whatever, 7 episodes for season 7, and then of course the 6 that we're going to get for season 8. And granted, you know, you're hearing rumors that these are going to be like, you know, 2-hour-long episodes, or I don't think so. I think with end credits we're talking 80 minutes, which was the season 7 finale for Game of Thrones was 80 minutes. So I think that's how long we're going to get. But given the fact that the show caught a little bit of flack from, you know, from fans as it kind of wound down this last season, and they only have 6 episodes to tell this massive final story where, you know, a lot of people are going to die every episode. There's probably going to be at least a couple major character deaths in every single episode leading into the finale. And I have a feeling that they want to make sure that it's done correct, that they want to make sure that it's done right, and that they are very much going to make that be a thing. Now, when it comes to the subject of the spin-off series, one of the 5 spin-off series that we've heard about, Casey did update Entertainment Weekly about that, and he says this: they're moving along. We've had some really talented writers working on them. The one thing I'll tell you, which we've talked about before, any sort of pilot to series order, there's not going to be anything on our air for at least a year after Game of Thrones airs. We're not using the final season to launch a new show or anything like that. There's going to be a separation between the two. These are among the best writers working, and I'm hopeful. Okay, so that makes sense. That does make sense. Like they're working on it now. They're working on the outlines. They're going to get it done. Probably going to go into pre-production when HBO does actually say, yes, we're sending these to order, and so on and so forth. I do feel, however, that they maybe missed out on an opportunity by not launching one of those particular series this year, where you have a gap of the show and people that are clamoring for some, more Westeros, and you have multiple series planned. I do feel like they've made a mistake by not having another team go and produce something to tide fans over, whether it's like a 3 or 4 episode miniseries that just gives you a side story, maybe a prequel that would like lead into an eventual series or something along those lines. That would be pretty cool to see. But otherwise, you can understand they don't want to screw with what they got. They don't want to mess anything up. They want to make sure that Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones, and this is what we're going to get. And so we won't even see the first spinoff until probably summer or fall of 2020, which feels like such a long ways away, but it really isn't. It's only like 2 years. I have a newborn. That's going to go by like that. So for me, while it sucks right now to realize I got over a year, probably a year and a half to wait until I can finish up Game of Thrones, with that little one taking a nap outside right now, I don't think my mind will ever really truly be waiting. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. I am curious to know what you guys are thinking. And my name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the video or support the channel, you can do so. Links below in the video description, like PayPal, Patreon, Bitcoin, Amazon affiliate sales, or you can just turn off the pesky ad block. Or if you just want to watch more from me, you can do so right now.